Visakha, known as the City of Destiny, is spread on the coast of Bay of Bengal in Andhra Pradesh. Being an abode of natural beauty, this city attracts a large number of tourists and is developing by leaps and bounds. Andhra University, which gained national prominence with its unique style of offering higher education, is situated in this city.
Uh, Thank you all for joining in. That was a funny video, but I hope it is a informative video as well. Thank you all for joining in, even in these tough times. I hope this today's webinar will be really useful for uh, all my friends and all the people around there. Because even this tough times, we need expert advice so that we be safe and we be sound. And first of all, I thank our Vice Chancellor Garu, Professor PVGD Prasad Reddy Garu, for giving this wonderful opportunity of hosting this platform. And I also thank Professor Peri Srinivas Garu, our Principal Garu, for hosting this platform, for helping in hosting this platform. As you all know, Gita is a virtual tech talk platform where experts and entrepreneurs are coming and sharing their advices and expertise, which are really being benefited by the students and student fraternity as well. Gita is also known as General Interest Topics Avenue, which is being hosted live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Please stay connected and please be safe and please follow all the COVID protocols. Now I hand over the session to today's anchor, Saileja.
Uh, Good evening, everyone. This is Shalja Ganti welcoming you all for a warm session of today's Gita Tech Talk. The past few weeks have been very critical and tense. In these times of chaos and turmoil, we need someone with expertise in dealing with critical medical emergencies to clear our doubts and queries and help us sustain this pandemic with simple precaution measures. This pleasant evening, we have with us Dr. Ram Bhupal Reddy Rami Reddy Garu, one of the very few doctors with a long, distinguished career in clinical emergency services. Dr. Ram Bhupal Reddy Garu graduated out of Kannur Medical College in 2003 and has ever since worked in both private and government hospitals. In his 17 years of distinguished medical career in emergency and ICU departments, He has worked in a lot of places, including Nellore, Rajahmundry, and Visakhapatnam. Currently, he is working with Pinnacle Hospitals. With his lifelong experience in medical field, he started a medical technology company named Element Medical Devices in September 2020. Dr. Ram Bhupal Reddy Garu has been working with Andhra University for technological support in developing his medical device. Dr. Ram Bhupal Reddy Garu has also written an article on the Glasgow coma scale and has been working to develop a new scale named Indian coma scale, which is yet to be announced to the public. Sir, it's my pleasure to introduce you, and we are honored to have you.
Much. Thank you for the introduction. So I'm here to share uh, about some details about the pandemic situation we are in and what precautions we can take, and uh, what best we can do to fight this, pandemic and coronavirus. So as we know already, and we are in a situation where, we're in a dire situation where we are not even able to get the patient beds, or not even get the oxygen cylinders, not even get any medicine. So the we can explain so many reasons for this, but whatever, what best precaution we can take to uh, slow down the virus, and also to save more lives, and also balancing the economy. And because as you spend more and more money on healthcare system, so you're going to become more and more poorer, so the country is going to be more and more poorer. So you have to balance in a way both economy, and that might be the one reason where we are not able to put the lockdown right now. So like we need to balance the healthcare system and the economy. So so we will start with what can we do to the country, and what can we do to the, to get rid of this virus. See, we are fighting with an invisible, a micron sized particle or virus particle, and all the world is facing it. So anyhow, and it's not the time to know know into the details of how it has originated, where it was originated. So is it a man-made virus? Is it a real natural virus? So this is not at all the time, and not at all the time even how it spreads also. So it's time to, directly jump into the an action plan wherein we need to get rid of this virus, get rid of the decrease the disease burden in the society. So using the maximum healthcare system facilities or infrastructure we have in India. So in India, as you know, we are very much different from, other countries, like, where the healthcare system is good, where educated people are more, and where there are only one or two types of communities, but we have a large number of communities, different systems. So by caste wise, even religion wise, so many things are there. So we are living in a, unity in diversity, as we all know, and we are in different political systems. All these things will influence either directly or indirectly in getting rid of the pandemic. Why we are successful in first wave and why we are not successful in second wave, that is also one more thing. So we have put a strict lockdown during mm, first wave. So this virus, any pandemic, usually see there are so many pandemics that came into our lives. It has questioned, many viruses have questioned our, not only viruses, bacteria. There are so many microorganisms or microbes that live around there, and they have the own right. They have the right to live. Just as human beings, we have the right to live. They also have the right to live. But see, animals has to live in the jungle, I mean forest, and humans has to live in the cities or towns. So when we club those two things, actually we are encouraging their, their environment, and we are getting diseases. Just like, because people are thinking, some studies say that this virus has originated in some forest area, like, from cats and all, from in China. We don't know the truth. So still, so these coronaviruses are not new. So they are there for so many millions of years, and we do get some common cold also with coronaviruses. So it's a group of viruses. It's not single virus, and we might have been ready. Maybe the world is not ready for this pandemic. So, but to give an example, so we had a SARS-CoV coronavirus number 1. So this is SARS coronavirus number 2. What is SARS? It is a severe acute respiratory syndrome. Means it suddenly develops a lung infection or a respiratory problem or a breathing difficulty. So because of an infection. So mostly it's virus, and most commonly it's the coronavirus, or some other viruses are also there. Some like influenza viruses. We have we have already uh, gained most of the viruses, like we have curbed up the polio virus. See, nowadays we are not even seeing the any polio virus, right? So almost it's gone because of vaccines. And then influenza we have no. So we already had a win over those so many of diseases, and now our existence is, and we're leading a healthy life. So our life expectancy also has uh, increased because of that medical advances in the medical technology, or whether in the healthcare system. uh, some people say that if you ask a old man 90 years, we had seen so many viruses. So if you compare in that way, so we are far better, and as far healthcare system is concerned. We have thrown out the coronavirus, sorry, we have thrown out the polio virus, and so many. Smallpox is also free from the world. Smallpox is over there. It's declared like free from the world. So we must fight this sudden situation. This is not a sudden situation. We are not ready for this. See, we had a SARS coronavirus one. We don't have a plan to face this. Even don't have a plan. Not even any. Not forget about India. Even US is also not ready for this pandemic. Not in that one, because everyone considered India, US as one of the most developed country. So no one is ready for this. You might have been ready, must might have planned, but so no one expected this. So anyhow, we had this. So we are in front of a tiger. So there are only two options: you run away from the tiger, or you fight with the tiger. So and how to fight with the tiger. So that is what today's topic is. So today's topic is, there are only two ways of getting this problem. One is you get the disease. Everyone will get the disease. Everyone will get immune. That's called herd immunity, and that you will get an immunity so that it won't come again. The second thing is, no one likes to get an infection, right? No one likes to get an infection. That's hilarious. Then the second thing is, get a vaccination, because so both are same. So the infection will cause some problem to you, some health problems, and vaccine will not may or may not cause small problems, but it will it will stimulate your body system that some virus has entered into the body, so you react to it. So that is called as antigen and antibody concept. So the virus is the antigen. Whatever the body reacts and produces some chemicals, that's called as antibodies. So in that way you will get some immunity. So you have two options: get the infection or get the vaccine. So 80% of the people, if say for example get infection or the vaccine, so you are almost free from that. So because 80% is enough, maybe some 70 to 80%. And particularly for some unknown reasons, children are not that much affected with this virus, and they're not, even if they're infected, they're not that much going to be into severity. And the range of severity varies from a mild or asymptomatic to a severe disease form. And the people who are more going to be in trouble are those who have so comorbidities, like age more than 60, 70 years, and diabetes with low immunity power, like heart problems, kidney problems. These are all the comorbidities that can actually enhance the or worsen the situation. uh, Taken into consideration coronavirus 2, now we are calling as, that is renamed as COVID-19. So it's a coronavirus, SARS coronavirus 2. So we are calling it as COVID-19. So we had one more way of getting not getting the exposure is wear a mask. So you have so many types of mask here. So from cloth, fancy masks are available. So many different types of masks are available. But what is going to really give the protection from that? See, it's always in the micron level. So you need to have a good filters to filter the virus, and all masks don't have such amount of filters. So for example, but it's not always possible to give everyone an N95 mask, and it's also not feasible like countries in India. The other alternative is you can wear a cloth mask. So there is no contraindication in that. So you can wear a cloth mask, but over this you use a surgical mask also. So at least you must be protected from the virus by 3 layers. So some experts say that is around three layers. So 3 layer minimum should be there to protect yourself from the virus. Dash number 2, N95 mask you can raise. There are some filters attached to those usually used by the doctors, not for the general public. And there are some respirators. So respirator is not a ventilator is different. Respirator is just it filters and it gives some air only. So this is how And next number 2, hand wash thoroughly whenever you touch them. Like that's everyone is doing. So I don't want to tell those details. With soap is enough, or even hand wash is also enough. And some people use sanitizer, but sanitizer you need to be have some it's an alcohol based. Most of them are alcohol based, so it has got inflammatory. So don't go near to the fire with sanitizer, and avoid and the third thing is avoid contact with the people who are suspected with coronavirus or proved to be coronavirus. The main problem with coronavirus, why we are having with rapid surge in cases and fast spread is the incubation period. The incubation means the virus enters into the body, so it uses your own body receptors called ACE receptors. So therein it has got a spike like spikes wherein it looks like a corona. So that's why the name coronavirus. Corona means crown. So like you have a kiritam tello chappan. So there it has got spikes that are attached to the cells, and they enter into the cells and they use our own genetic material, DNA or RNA, and it will manufacture. So for your information, say for example, one virus enter into one cell of your body, it goes into around, it will give some reproduction around 700 variants in over 12 to 16 hours. So 700, one becoming 700 in 12 to 16 hours. So it's going to give it, and your body starts reacting, and a reaction is the main problem. So why many patients are becoming serious and sickness is that because of you can say the overreaction of in common terms I'm telling. So I want to tell you in a common terms. So in common terms, it's a overreaction of your immunity system that is react to the so that's called as inflammation. So that severe inflammatory reaction, we call it a severe inflammatory response syndrome. So that is the reason, that is the primary reason for a patient going to be deteriorated rather than causing directly to the damage to the lungs. So its primary site of damage will be the lung, and it has got effect on all other bodies, all other systems in the body, but primarily it settles in the lungs and damages most of the times in lungs. uh, and the CT scan, if you can see, doctor can easily differentiate a coronavirus. The problems we are facing, next number 3, so we are deviating. The first thing is the mask, use any mask. Next number 2, sanitizer. Number 3, distance minimum 6 feet from each other. Minimum 6 feet you need to maintain. So coming to the treatment strategies and treatment protocols, and most of the Indians they're starting directly the treatment process if they get, because they're in a pandemic situation, they're starting the treatment itself without testing. And there are some reasons, like we don't have widespread kits available for testing. So we are testing by 2 methods. One is the rapid antigen test, RAT. So it's the bedside simple test, and the result will come in just 15 minutes to 1 hour, less than 1 hour, so half an hour. It's a spot test, so wherein you can simply take a sample from your nose. The cotton swab will be introduced in the nose, and they will take out and then put in a solution, that viral transport medium or any buffer solution, and then they will transfer into a, so they will test the directly. Whatever the sample is the antigen, so you have a kit there, you got already the antibody and with some coloring agent for visibility. You add these two and the reaction comes antigen antibody reaction, so you will get a positive line. So usually one line is negative, 2 lines are positive. This is it's a simple test everyone can do, so no technical expertise required in this. So this is almost 80 to 90% it's true, but you may miss some cases. But still you have another high level of test, that is the RT-PCR test. So it's a reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction, so we call it. So it's a uh, what it does is, so it will multiply it will synthesize the DNA and then it will. So we have some mission. It's a technology called PCR technology. So this is for some other disease also, like TB. It's not a new technique. It's an old technique only. So for many diseases we use, at genetic level we are testing, like at DNA level we are taking. So that is a sophisticated machine. So wherein you will get a more accurate values. So prefer always RT-PCR if available, if possible. Then so you are going directly for the treatment. It's not good. First let the patient have symptoms. Without symptoms, no need of testing, nothing, no treatment, nothing. Just stay in the home, stay away from, take all the precautions. Just now I have told you those 3 precautions. SIM, so sanitation and distance, maintain social distancing, mask, and then the sanitizer. So only these 3, hand wash. So these are things. Next, coming to the treatment part of it. So no symptoms, no testing, no treatment. So if we have a doubt, like even so what are the symptoms? Like you already know: loss of smell, loss of taste, body pains, body aches, headache, eye dragging sensation, throat pain. Some people know this latest variant. So I'll talk about variants later when I come to the vaccination. This latest variant is giving some different symptoms, like diarrhea also. So whenever you have these symptoms, let's get first tested for antigen test. Even with basic antigen test also, you can start the process rather than waiting. Don't straight away go for treatment. Not required for everyone. So unless the doctor prescribes. So don't depend upon Google. So no one can replace doctor, right? Even not the Google. So so then after that, you consult a doctor. So then he will evaluate and give some. So he will test for the how much inflammation your body is reacting to it. So there are some inflammatory markers, blood test. So like IL-6, LDH, CRP, D-dimer. These are all things. So the peculiarity of this coronavirus is it's different from other viruses and other infections in that it's causing blood clots in the vascular system. It's affecting the vascular system. That is the blood vessels. So that's why even young patients are broken. So during the first wave, the doctors are confused, not ready for treatment. They're also new to the treatment protocols. And now doctors are a little bit expert in treatment, knowing the disease process and getting the treatment. We are having a better results compared to the first wave. Actually, death rate may be low compared to first wave, I suppose. Actually, because we had a treatment strategies are understood better compared to the first wave. And then once this RT-PCR is done, and some inflammatory markers doctor will test, and directly don't go for CT scan, not required for everyone on day 1 of the symptoms. The virus takes minimum 5 to 7 days to settle in the lungs. So go for a CT scan only on 5th day or 4th, 5th or 6th or 7th day only, depending upon the symptoms as the doctor prescribes you. And so the main role of coming to the treatment part, the main role of treatment is steroids after 4 or 5 days. First 4 days, a routine B complex tablets, vitamin C, or some antibiotics, usually doxycycline or ivermectin. It differs, but usually I'm telling the general treatment, not the particularly. It differs from patient to patient, but generally you have to individualize the treatment. Don't go by the mass. So these are the like if you have fever, dolo tablet, and don't like any fever. Take your body gets to be dehydrated. You're not taking food properly, so you may even get depressed. So be strong. So first of all, the first thing is you be strong. Okay, it's okay. I got it. Everyone is getting. I'm getting. That's it. So take some tablets and take a fresh air. Don't keep them in a room and lock them, because that stigma should not be that stigma of separating the isolation is okay, but stigma from completely separating them, untouchability is not good. So it's okay, but the precaution you need to take it, the patient has to get a free and open air. Don't keep them in a locked room because it's possible, because whatever the virus circulates will be releasing it, that may theoretically it may increase the virus load. So let him give a free breath. Mask not required when he's in open air. For the patient, I'm telling, mask is not required. But within the house, the latest guidelines say that you need to wear a mask. But maybe when you are very close to them, if you are isolated, keeping in a separate room. So when you are in the room alone, in the open air, so it's not required. But if you're going close to the 6 feet protocol, you need to wear a mask. So within the house also, including within the house also, if you have a patient. So, but if you don't have a patient, so no mask in the house, not required. And the second, so when to get admitted? So CT scan, I told you, only after 4 or 5 days. Steroids only after 4 or 5 days. First 4 or 5 days, general treatment. Usually, most of the people will recover with this. And a repeat test that I have get rid of the virus or not, no, repeat test is not required. If you are improving well, no need of no repeat testing to prove that you are negative. So it's not required. If you are symptomatically better, no need of repeat testing. So coming to the 5th day, 6th day, 7th day, what's happening? So the virus usually, if it worsens the condition, if it gets settled in the, because you are not taken proper care or proper treatment, or even neglected, what will happen? So because negligence is very much common. Everyone is showing typhoid fever. So please remember that any fever right now, if you have in this pandemic, you are in a pandemic situation. So let the COVID test be done. So nothing wrong in that. So let it be cleared. Then only you can go for another any viral fever or any other malaria, typhoid. That needs to be second and third, not the first one. So people are neglecting these testing, directly jumping to treatment protocols. It's not good actually. So not everyone will get the disease, right? So next, number 3, this latest variant is spreading faster compared to the first one. Maybe this may be a little different variant. We call it as, people are calling it as, experts are calling it like Indian variant. They are not named it officially, but it's Indian variant they're keeping. And some people have doubts like, the testing, first wave virus and second wave virus both are different, so the variants are different, so the testing may give a wrong result, negative result. It's not like that. See, RT-PCR is testing is at almost DNA level, so, or RNA level. So the reports are so accurate that even the change of the variant is not going to change the report much. Why? I'll tell you, that the test will test you 2 or 3 genes simultaneously. So even if one gene is missed, second gene or third gene, it will detect 2 or 3 genes will be detecting. So it's very it's almost impossible to miss a case with RT-PCR. Even if RT-PCR are negative and CT scan shows some lesions that are peculiar to the coronavirus, it should be treated like coronavirus infection only, because coronavirus has a special feature of lesions, and problems you can see in the while you're looking at the CT scan. So it is more subpleural, and it has some atelectatic bands like arrangement, ground glass opacity. There are some peculiar features for its appearance. So radiologist can easily pick up, is it from routine pneumonia? I don't know. People will not be confused. RT-PCR negative, CT scan is showing some pneumonia. How we are saying like this? So don't argue with the radiologist or don't argue with the pulmonologist. So the lungs, there is a special appearance of these lesions compared to the TB or some other viral pneumonia. So this has got some peculiar feature. That is actually a good thing, so that doctors can easily directly scan. And next, coming to the treatment, CT scan. Okay, if we have done the CT scanner. So when you need to get admitted. So you need to get admitted if the doctor will tell you if the lungs are damaged, you have so many comorbidities. Even if some mild symptoms and mild pneumonia in the lungs, also you can treat at home. Still keeping yourself in isolation. But the doctor may start steroid tablets, not injections. So you may prescribe some tablets, usually methylprednisolone. So 16 mg, 32 mg. So depending on the situation and the doctor will decide. And the main line of treatment is steroids. No doubt in it. They are going to help you. So, and we don't have particular drug that acts and completely removes the coronavirus. That's the problem. We don't have right. Even the remdesivir is not 100% safe. They're not 100% accurate that it will eliminate this. So it only decreases the severity. And steroids usually what the mechanism of action is, as I already told you, it gives an immense inflammatory reaction in the body. The virus stimulates an immense inflammatory reaction in that severe inflammatory reaction syndrome you can cause. So that that effect will be little bit down with you even if you take some steroids. But steroids have got their own complication. But short-term steroids for 5 to 7 days usually we give. I don't think anyone can be given. So don't have that argument like steroids are not safe. Uh, Next, okay, you have got the CT scan. So mild symptoms, I told you, like if you have moderate symptoms and close, doctor will tell you like closely monitor your oxygen saturation level. If your oxygen is around 94% or 94%, you need to get admitted. You need oxygen therapy. Usually moderate to severe cases will happen in that. Mild cases usually will be maintaining the saturation, but there are some lung lesions you can manage. So when to get CT scan repeated after mild symptoms? So after 5 days after. So it comes to around 10 days. So if you are a moderate case or severe case, usually it will give some time and idea for the progression of the disease for the doctor. So that's a good thing for follow up of every case. So these are all related to economics. So you cannot admit every patient, you cannot treat every patient, you cannot give antibiotic, you cannot give remdesivir to everyone. So it's not possible, right? So that too, living in a developing country is not possible. Moderate cases and severe case, doctor will get admitted, will prescribe some drugs, and the main line of treatment is the steroids. And then the second thing is, usually admitted patients will get some. As I told you, the virus is causing some thrombosis. That is, blood clotting mechanism is altered. So it's more pro-thrombotic with this infection. So doctor will give you some blood thinners injections or tablets so that blood will not clot in the blood vessels. So there are some oral tablets and like Clexane, Eliquis. These are all the. So the doctor will decide. I'm just telling the general treatment. Don't follow this. Okay. And doctor may even prescribe some oral drugs also. If you are even at home also, if you are at risk of like 50 years diabetics, these are the doctor will decide. Some antiplatelets or some those things also may be given. Anticoagulants, not antiplatelets. So these are things. So doctor may give some oxygen. If the patient condition is severe, he will put you on ventilator. So ventilator you have two types. Like you have a tight mask with the ventilator. Oxygen, if the patient is breathing difficulty is there. So if the patient is deteriorating, then he may put you on ventilator. A tight mask will be also, it's called non-invasive ventilation (NIV), and that will be connected to a ventilator. So what's the difference between oxygen and a ventilator is, oxygen, whatever that you take, that may not enter into the lungs. Ventilator does it with push, like it will be pushing and with pressure into lungs to maintain oxygen saturation. Oxygen is required for every cell of our body. So like the basic metabolism is oxygen plus carbohydrates. That's the energy come carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide comes out, oxygen you get in. This is the basic principle of any metabolism, basic metabolism. So oxygen will be pushed into the lungs and thereby into the circulation system. So this is what happens. If the patient is still deteriorating, he may require a complete. They'll put a tube and connect to the ventilator. So that's a very critical condition. So this is how the from mild symptoms, no symptoms, asymptomatic to the spectrum of disease may be all these things. But 80 to 90% of the patients usually recover. See, if you analyze the statistics and the data available from there are how many cases are coming from for a day. So on the deaths, if you compare, so you will get an idea. Like only very very minor people will become serious. But even every single life is important for us. But in a general sense, I'm telling. So this is what happens, and you have to be careful with this. So coming to the vaccination. So as I told you, you need to get infection or you need to get the vaccine. There is no other way of getting out of this pandemic. So the second thing is, so how will you get a vaccination? There are so many companies, all manufacturing we have a right now we have 3 vaccines in India, like Covishield, Covaxin, and recently Sputnik V from Russia. Covishield manufactured by Serum Institute Pune, and Bharat Biotech manufacturing Covaxin from Hyderabad, and Sputnik V is one imported from Russia. So these are three vaccines available in India, and there are so many vaccines in the world, like some 130, and some are in pending in clearance for waiting for certification and clearances, regulatory approvals we are waiting. Like US is using like Moderna vaccine, Pfizer, and there are so many vaccines. And every vaccine, there is no difference in getting any vaccine. There is no much difference. Don't think like this one is good, that one is bad, like that. But as per side effects are, you may choose one. If you are not confident with the side effects, you can choose one. But as per doctors are concerned, any vaccine is okay. But getting any vaccine is more important than getting nothing. So the side effects of the vaccine are usually mild, so you can neglect them. So you may get 1 or 2 days fever, and there are speculations that it's causing blood clots. So those are all not proved actually. So no studies say completely. So vaccines are safe. You can take them. Even I am also vaccinated. So I had just a 1 day little down. So next day onwards I'm okay. So you need to take the vaccine. Everyone has to do it, but it takes some time. So minimum 6 months to 1 year. Meanwhile, these are you have to control this surge in the. This only can be done with the government's and political system only. But some states are imposing some lockdowns. So lockdowns are not going to clear the pandemic. They are only going to slow down. So you may get a third wave. So maybe if this wave, so any pandemic usually goes in waves. Waves matlab no. Waves means no, the spike and surge in the cases, then falling down. So usually the first wave will be larger and second wave will be smaller. But in this situation, it's a little different. Second wave is going to be much faster probably because of the new variant, which is spreading faster and causing symptoms. Say for example, for the first variant of the virus, what we have in India. Say for example, you are getting the virus in simple terms. I'll tell you, like you are getting the virus infection after talking half an hour with the patient. This time you are getting just 2 minutes of time. Talking with 2 minutes of time, you are getting the infection. So that it's in that way, it's more spreading fast. We call it a super spreader. So anyhow we are getting it. So the vaccine, you need to take them. So everyone has to take it. But people, we don't have vaccines for children right now. That's going to be, because as I told you, some 70 to 80% of the people has to be vaccinated, and the children may fall into 10-20%. So we need to reach 70 to 80% of. And one study says that those who are already got an infection, they also get vaccinated, maybe single time, but it's not true. So some studies say that because they are already exposed to the virus, even a single dose is enough. Generally, these vaccines have 2 doses apart. Generally, 28 days. We will be getting second dose. Booster dose, we don't have an idea because it's new to it. Even we are not. So we don't have a. But maybe once in a year, you may need to take it again and again to, so that the second or third pandemic may not come. Uh, so like now you are taking influenza vaccines every year, yearly once. And like this is the so you need to, everyone has to take a vaccine. And we don't have vaccine right now for children, but it takes nearly 6 months to 1 year to get vaccinated. All of them get vaccinated in India, and I think it's around 20% vaccinated in US, and Israel around 50%. So everyone needs to be let the world get vaccinated over a year. So we may never expect this is going to happen in the next 6 months or 1 year. It's only after 1 year only. So everyone will get vaccinated, and we may get rid of this pandemic also after 1 year maybe. So it's not less than 1 year. We need to take care of these precautions. We need to take care, whatever I told you, to minimize them, and no more events, no more these things. Already the government is taking care of them. So thank you very much. So regarding the vaccines and variants, so no need to change these things. So if you have any questions, you can ask. If I missed it also, you can remind me. Vinil?
Yes, sir. We have a few questions for the session today. Well, the first question being, for the viral fever and the corona infection, like how do we distinguish between the fever? Like people who are getting viral fever also state that it might be corona. So how do you distinguish between them?
I didn't got, like if you got a negative antigen test, no negative COVID test.
Like if I have got a
You
fever and I took a corona test, but I got negative. So
yes,
without
if
how can you distinguish it? Because it's creating
yeah,
panic in the whole families and society now. So that might help.
yes, ma'am. We can do it in two ways. Hello, I
Yes.
think you need to off your mic. We can do it in two ways. Say you are asking like, what if the report comes negative and if the patient is having a fever, right? I think that's the question. So if you got a fever and the report is negative, so if antigen is negative, you can go for an RT-PCR, which is no, which will definitely give a good result. Even in that case, some inflammatory markers which are peculiar to this coronavirus, you can take into consideration, like D-dimer. So, like inflammatory markers also you can take into consideration and start the treatment. Anyhow, the treatment for corona is, there is nothing special about treatment in corona. It's like any viral fever, you're giving some antibiotic. Doxycycline usually given. Ivermectin, you don't have any side effects. So you can safely give these things for 4 or 5 days and let the CT scan be done after fourth or fifth day, and then you can again decide whether. Meanwhile, you can do other viral tests also if required. Like you're suspicious of malaria, you can do those tests. Uh, so this all goes by a fever treatment protocol elimination.
And we have a question in the live chat from Mansa. It takes many. How can we trust the available vaccination which was released within an year?
Okay,
Do you think the
I'm
race
not.
is really?
Can you type in the chart so that I can understand the question better?
Yeah, sure.
So there is no relation between the vaccination and the number of cases. See, vaccine is different. Vaccine is, what is vaccine? It's a part of the virus they are taking it. So it's not the, it may be or a dead virus. So they will kill the virus and make a vaccine, or a part of it. It has no life. Vaccine has no life. So first thing is vaccine has no life. So it's like chicken and mutton, right? So so you don't expect a chicken run again after you eat it. So it's a vaccine, right? So there is no relation between vaccination and number of cases, rise in the number of cases. Trust in the vaccine. You don't have time. I don't have choice. See, you need to believe them. So 6 months they're doing the no. They have actually cut short. They have gone the proper way. See, there are the clinical trials have gone in 3 or 4 phases. See, Bharat Biotech vaccine, they have not yet given permission till now. So it's going still in the third phase. We are still in the third phase. Why they're not given and given? And so they're not doing in that way, right? So there are some controlling authorities wherein they're uh, giving the validation only after proven clinical trials. These are all clinically proven, but they're done it in a faster way and paced it up. So they have done it fast way. Like we used to develop vaccine, in a method like like morning walk. Now we are doing it with pace, like with running with vaccine. So we have done the same job in a fast manner. So you can trust all the vaccine, any vaccine you can trust. So and there is no difference between vaccine. Only you can, the difference may be in the side effects that you can take into consideration. That's a personal opinion.
Yes, we have many speculations going around about the vaccines, like it be Covishield or Covaxin. What are the precautions to be taken after taking the vaccine?
There are no particular precautions you need to take after vaccination. Just take a rest for one day. You may take a rest for one day, and if you get some body pains, like any symptoms, you take some paracetamol. It's only symptomatic treatment only.
you so much for the information, sir. It's a clear and it was great having on you on the session. Can I hand over the mic to Vineet?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such a wonderful session, sir. I hope we have some more questions, sir. And the general questions were about the vaccination and masks, sir, but most of them are getting afraid of the virus actually. But there is no tension of getting tension about the virus. So please brief about the mental happiness about a patient or any human being. Mental happiness.
Mental aspects of the vaccination program.
No, sir.
Yeah, see,
Mental happiness of a patient, sir, to be free,
Vinil,
free, free.
Vinil, can you type the question in the chat box?
Yes.
So there are a few doubts on general case. Sir, వ్యాక్సిన్
Sir,
సేమ్
please tell me,
వ్యాక్సిన్
sir.
2 డోసులు తీసుకోవాలని అంటున్నారు కదండి.
Sir.
సార్
Sir, చెప్పండి
జనరల్
sir.
గా ఏ వ్యాక్సిన్ అయితే ఫస్ట్ డోస్ తీసుకుంటున్నామో ఫస్ట్ డోస్ ఏ వ్యాక్సిన్ తీసుకుంటున్నామో సెకండ్ డోస్ కూడా
sir.
అదే వ్యాక్సిన్ తీసుకోవాలి, అదే టైప్ ఆఫ్ వ్యాక్సిన్
అవును సార్, అదే
అంటున్నారు.
తీసుకోవాలి సార్.
సార్ అది అంటే వేరే వ్యాక్సిన్ తీసుకుంటే అడ్వర్స్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఉంటాయండి
సార్
సార్? అంటే ఫస్ట్ డోస్ ఒక వ్యాక్సిన్, సెకండ్ డోస్
సార్
వేరే వ్యాక్సిన్ తీసుకుంటే
సార్
అడ్వర్స్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఉంటాయా సార్ హ్యూమన్ బాడీ మీద?
ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ అలా చేయరు కూడా సార్. యాక్చువల్లీ వీ హ్యావ్ ఏ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ కాల్డ్ గవర్నమెంట్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ కాల్డ్ కోవిన్ సార్. సార్ వినిపిస్తుందా సార్? హలో.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have a government.
Technical ga?
Sir. సార్
సార్ టెక్నికల్ గా ఫస్ట్ వ్యాక్సిన్ ఒకటి, సెకండ్ వ్యాక్సిన్ వేరేది తీసుకుంటే ప్రాబ్లం ఏముంటుంది సార్?
ప్రాబ్లం ఏముండదు సార్, ఎఫికసీ తగ్గుతుంది. సో మీకు యాంటీబాడీ టైటర్స్ మెయింటైన్ అవ్వాలి సార్. మినిమం ఇంత లెవెల్ అని ఉంటుంది ప్రొటెక్షన్. యాంటీబాడీ టైటర్స్, ఎనఫ్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ యాంటీబాడీస్ బాడీలో యాంటీబాడీ టైటర్స్ ఉండాలి సార్ అగైన్స్ట్ ద వైరస్. సో ఆ టైటర్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేయడంలో కొద్దిగా తేడా రావచ్చు.
ఓకే సార్. సార్ ఫస్ట్ డోస్ ఇఫ్ ఐ టేక్ కోవాక్సిన్, ఆఫ్టర్ 4 weeks or 6 weeks ఇఫ్ ఐ టేక్ కోవిషీల్డ్, ఆ రెండు వ్యాక్సిన్లు బాడీలో ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవుతాయండి. దానివల్ల అడ్వర్స్ ఎఫెక్ట్ ఏమైనా ఉంటుందా సార్?
అంటే సార్ జనరల్ గా అలా ఇవ్వరు సార్. యాక్చువల్లీ గవర్నమెంట్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ కోవిన్ అని ఉంది సార్. యాక్చువల్లీ యూ హావ్ టు ఫస్ట్ రిజిస్టర్ ఆన్ దట్ ఇన్ దట్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ టు గెట్ వ్యాక్సినేటెడ్. కోవిన్ సార్, COWIN. సో మీ దే టేక్ యువర్ ఆధార్ కార్డ్ అండ్ దోస్ డీటెయిల్స్ అండ్ దెన్ ఓన్లీ యూ విల్ బి గెట్. సో గవర్నమెంట్ ప్రోటోకాల్ ప్రకారం వెళ్తుంది. జనరల్ గా అదే వ్యాక్సిన్ ఇస్తారు సార్, వేరేది ఎవరు. మీరు ఒకవేళ ఎలా అయినా చేసుకున్నా నష్టమైతే ఏముండదు సార్. కాకపోతే ప్రొటెక్షన్ అంత మంచి ఎఫెక్ట్ గా ఉండదు. సో మీరు 2 కోవిషీల్డ్ తీసుకున్నా, 2 కోవాక్సిన్ తీసుకున్నా వచ్చిన ప్రొటెక్షన్ 2 విడివిడిగా తీసుకుంటే వచ్చే యాంటీబాడీ టైటర్స్ వేరుగా ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి మీకు ప్రొటెక్షన్ అంత ఇదిగా ఉండకపోవచ్చు. ఏంటంటే ఒకసారి వ్యాక్సిన్స్ వేసుకున్నా కూడా ఇన్ఫెక్షన్స్ వచ్చే అవకాశం ఉంది కాబట్టి మనం కరెక్ట్ గా తీసుకుంటేనే మంచి వ్యాక్సిన్ పనిచేస్తుంది సార్. అది ఏ బ్రాండ్ లేదు. సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఏముండవు సార్. సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఏముండవు.
ఓకే సార్. సార్ జనరల్ గా ఇప్పుడు పీపుల్ ఆర్ అడ్వైజింగ్ టు టేక్ 2 masks, టు పుట్ ఆన్ 2 masks. సో ఇస్ ఇట్ రియల్లీ నెసెసరీ ఆర్ will it affect again?
Sir, in open places, when you are in park, when you are in the beach, no need of any mask. First thing is no need of mask. People are walking and running with mask. That is more dangerous. So because you say masks, we have some side effect like you can't. So whatever the breathe out, that carbon dioxide will be staying within your lungs and body. So it's not advisable to wear a mask in the open places. Like we are walking in the park, walking in the beach. So it's not advisable. Mask is not advisable.
సార్ ఫుడ్ ద్వారా స్ప్రెడ్ అయ్యే ఛాన్స్ ఉందా సార్?
Food
Suppose
ద్వారా
if I take
అంటే సార్
some food from some hotel.
No sir, I don't think so. It's not proven. Sir, we all go by evidence-based medicine, not by myths and all these things. So there are not even by newspaper, milk. So these things are not proved actually. Only the
Okay,
mode
sir.
of spread is here. Droplet infection from person to person who is talking very close to you, or by airborne very near to you. So it's called considered as airborne. So there are only two ways: droplet and airborne. Both are by coming contact with the direct face to face and talking to each other generally.
Thank you, sir.
Using okay, sorry. One question there, someone I missed is, most of the people are getting worried and being tensed. How to free of tensions and be mental health. So the world is in a situation where it has also coronavirus also kicked our emotional aspect of also. So we have to be brave and fight this coronavirus. So if you know the real truth of the virus and how it spreads, how to treat ourselves, how to get vaccinated, if you know all these things, you'll be obviously you'll be mentally strong. If you don't know anything, you'll be more panicked.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for clearing all our questions and all our doubts. And also, most of the people are getting benefited with this talk, sir. I hope that this will be helpful for many people. Thank you very much for connecting, sir.
Okay, thank you, Anil. Okay.
Thank you all for being connected even in these tough times. I hope all are being safe in their homes, and please follow the COVID protocols and do not worry, and be mentally fit, and also do not worry about any problems, and be mentally fit. That's what all I want to say. And if you have any queries, you can directly contact us on the mail ID given below, and we are always there to help you and also take your suggestions as well. I thank Dr. Bhupal Garu for spending his valuable time with us and also clearing many of the doubts. And I also thank Professor Mallikarjun Rao Garu for shaping this platform. I also thank AU Computer Cell and also Professor Ramasudam Ma'am Garu for shaping this platform and also helping this platform. I also thank my team, Mayur, Sailaja, and others as well for supporting this platform since 4 months. And thank you all for staying connected. Be happy, be safe, and stay safe. Thank you. Jai Hind. Vande Mataram.